Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 1,000 subscribers and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button right now.
The Los Angeles Dodgers just dropped a bombshell that has the entire baseball world buzzing, and let me tell you, this story gets wilder by the minute. We're talking about a record-breaking contract, a noise complaint at a luxury hotel, and one of the most electrifying closers in baseball history joining a team that's absolutely desperate to solidify their bullpen. Strap in, because what went down during the MLB winter meetings in Orlando is the kind of chaos that legends are made of, and it all revolves around the Dodgers' newest weapon, Edwin Díaz. The Dodgers have just signed star closer Edwin Díaz to an absolutely massive 3-year, $69 million contract, and this isn't just any signing. This is a statement. This is the Dodgers telling the rest of Major League Baseball that they're not messing around, that they're willing to break records and open up the checkbook to get the pieces they need to dominate. And break records they did, because this contract represents the highest annual value ever given to a reliever in MLB history. Let that sink in for a moment. The Dodgers just made Edwin Díaz the highest paid reliever in the game, and they did it without blinking an eye. But here's where things get absolutely insane. When this deal went down during the winter meetings in Orlando, the excitement was so overwhelming, so intense, that Dodgers president of baseball operations Andrew Friedman completely lost his mind in the best possible way. Picture this scene. It's late at night at a fancy hotel in Orlando. General managers, executives, and agents are milling about, making deals, shaking hands, plotting their next moves. And then, suddenly, blaring through the walls of one particular hotel room comes the unmistakable sound of "Narco" by Timmy Trumpet, Edwin Díaz's iconic entrance song, playing at absolutely full volume. That's right. Andrew Friedman, one of the most respected and normally composed executives in all of baseball, was so pumped up about landing Edwin Díaz that he cranked up "Narco" and turned his hotel room into an impromptu celebration zone. We're not talking about quietly celebrating with a glass of champagne. We're talking about full-blown, music blasting, let the whole hotel know what just happened chaos. And the best part? The noise got so loud, the celebration got so out of control that the hotel actually received a noise complaint. Can you imagine being in the room next door, trying to get some sleep, and suddenly Timmy Trumpet's epic entrance music is rattling your walls at midnight? That's the level of excitement we're dealing with here. This isn't just a story about a big contract. This is a story about what Edwin Díaz represents to the Dodgers organization and why his arrival has everyone associated with the team completely fired up. The Dodgers have a bullpen problem and they know it. Last year, their relief pitching didn't perform at the level they needed to compete for a championship. Games that should have been locked down turned into nail-biters, or worse, losses. The bullpen was supposed to be a strength, but it ended up being a weakness. And for a team with World Series aspirations, that's simply unacceptable. Enter Edwin Díaz, stage left, with his devastating fastball and his absolutely lethal slider. This guy is a game changer in the truest sense of the word. When Díaz enters a game, the entire stadium knows something special is about to happen. His stuff is electric. His fastball consistently touches triple digits on the radar gun, and his slider has so much movement that even the best hitters in baseball look foolish trying to make contact. These are the weapons that close games with authority, that turn ninth-inning pressure situations into routine saves, that transform a shaky bullpen into a shutdown unit. But Díaz brings more than just elite pitching skills to Los Angeles. He brings an energy, a presence, a swagger that's impossible to ignore. Anyone who's ever watched him pitch knows exactly what I'm talking about. The moment his entrance music starts playing and he emerges from the bullpen, the atmosphere in the stadium completely changes. There's electricity in the air. There's anticipation. There's the understanding that you're about to witness something special. And Andrew Friedman experienced this firsthand back in 2022 when he had the chance to see Timmy Trumpet perform "Narco" live at Citi Field during one of Díaz's entrances with the New York Mets. Friedman hasn't forgotten that moment. In fact, he's been dreaming about recreating it at Dodger Stadium ever since. He's electric. Friedman said when discussing Diaz and that unforgettable performance at Citi Field. You can hear the excitement in his voice when he talks about it. This isn't just a baseball executive analyzing a player's statistics and making a calculated roster decision. This is a fan of the game who understands that baseball is entertainment, that certain players transcend the sport and become larger-than-life personalities who create moments that fans remember forever. And that's exactly what the Dodgers are getting with Edwin Díaz. They're not just getting a closer who can record outs in the ninth inning. They're getting a phenomenon. They're getting someone who will make Dodger Stadium absolutely erupt every single time he enters a game. Can you imagine 50,000 plus fans at Chavez Ravine going absolutely bonkers as Narco blasts through the speakers and Diaz strides in from the bullpen with the game on the line? That's the kind of moment that gives you chills. That's the kind of moment that makes baseball special. And Andrew Friedman is so eager to see it happen that he couldn't even wait until opening day to celebrate. He had to blast that song in his hotel room the moment the deal was done. Noise complaints be damned. Now let's talk about what this signing means in the broader context of the Dodgers roster construction strategy. This marks the second consecutive season in which the Dodgers have heavily invested in a reliever. Last year they signed Tanner Scott, hoping he would be the answer to their bullpen issues. But if we're being completely honest here, Scott didn't meet expectations. He wasn't the dominant force they thought they were getting. He had his moments, sure, but overall, the investment didn't pay off the way the front office had hoped. Some teams might look at that failure and decide to pivot away from spending big money on relievers. Not the Dodgers. They're doubling down. They're going even bigger. They're essentially saying, we know relievers can be volatile, but we believe Edwin Díaz is different. And you know what? They might be right. Díaz isn't just any reliever. He's a proven commodity with a track record of excellence that speaks for itself. His experience, his skills, his mental fortitude in high-pressure situations, these are qualities that separate the elite closers from the merely good ones. The Dodgers are confident, perhaps more confident than they've been in years, that Díaz is the real deal, that he'll be the closer they need to secure crucial victories when the games matter most. Think about what this means for the 2025 season. The Dodgers are already loaded with offensive firepower. Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, these guys can score runs in bunches. The starting rotation, while it has some question marks, also has enough quality arms to keep the team competitive. But in today's baseball, games are often decided in the late innings. A strong bullpen can be the difference between a division title and falling short. A dominant closer can be the difference between a World Series championship and a disappointing playoff exit. The Dodgers understand this reality, and that's why they were willing to break the bank for Edwin Díaz. $69 million over 3 years is serious money for a reliever, even in today's inflated baseball economy. But when you break it down, when you consider what Díaz brings to the table both on and off the field, the investment starts to make a lot more sense. This isn't just about statistics, although Díaz's numbers are certainly impressive. This is about creating an identity for the team, about giving the bullpen a clear leader and alpha dog who thrives under pressure. This is about taking games that might be in doubt in the 7th or 8th inning and turning them into victories because you know that once Díaz enters the game, it's over. The opposing team might as well pack up their bats and head to the clubhouse because they're not scoring off this guy. And let's not forget the impact this has on the rest of the bullpen. When you have a closer like Edwin Díaz at the back end, it takes pressure off the setup men and middle relievers. They know they just need to keep the game close, get it to the 9th inning with a lead, and then hand the ball to Díaz. That clarity of roles, that confidence in knowing you have a shutdown closer waiting in the wings, can transform an entire pitching staff. It creates a culture of winning, a mentality that games aren't truly lost until Díaz has had his opportunity to close it out. The excitement surrounding this signing is palpable throughout the Dodgers organization and among the fan base. Social media exploded when the news broke. Dodgers fans who had been clamoring for bullpen help finally got their wish in spectacular fashion. This isn't a Band-Aid solution or a low-risk flyer on a reclamation project. This is a statement signing that signals the Dodgers' intentions loud and clear. They're going for it all in 2025, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to get back to the World Series. The season opener is scheduled for March 26th when the Dodgers will host the Arizona Diamondbacks at Dodger Stadium. Mark that date on your calendars, folks, because it's going to be electric. The anticipation to see Edwin Díaz make his debut in Dodger blue is building with each passing day. Fans are already imagining scenarios where the game is tight, the Diamondbacks have runners on base, and then Narco starts playing and Díaz emerges from the bullpen to save the day. That's the kind of moment that sets the tone for an entire season. That's the kind of moment that makes you believe this team is different, that this is finally the year everything comes together. But who exactly is Edwin Díaz, and how did he become one of the most feared closers in all of baseball? Let's dive into his background because his journey to this moment is absolutely fascinating. Edwin Díaz was born on March 22, 1994, in Naguabo, Puerto Rico. For those unfamiliar with Puerto Rico's rich baseball tradition, the island has produced some of the greatest players in the history of the game. From Roberto Clemente to Ivan Rodriguez to Carlos Correa, Puerto Rico has a legacy of excellence, and Edwin Díaz is proudly carrying that torch forward. Díaz made his major league debut in 2016 with the Seattle Mariners, and it didn't take long for him to make a name for himself. Right from the start, his powerful fastball caught everyone's attention. We're talking about a pitch that consistently sits in the upper 90s and can touch 100 miles per hour when he really reaches back for something extra. But velocity alone doesn't make you a great closer. Plenty of pitchers throw hard. What separates Díaz from the pack is his ability to command that fastball, to locate it precisely where he wants it, and to pair it with his devastating slider that has become his signature pitch. That slider is a thing of beauty, or a nightmare, depending on whether you're a fan or a hitter trying to make contact. It has so much late break, so much sharp movement, that batters are often completely fooled. They start their swing thinking they're going to make solid contact, and then the bottom drops out of the pitch and they're flailing at air. The whiff rate on Díaz's slider is off the charts. It's one of those pitches that even when hitters know it's coming, they still can't hit it. That's the mark of a truly elite pitch, and Díaz throws it with the confidence of someone who knows he's got an unhittable weapon at his disposal. Throughout his career, Díaz has established himself as one of the most dominant closers in baseball. His strikeout rates are consistently among the highest in the league. His ability to get out of jams, to escape innings where other closers would crumble, is legendary. He thrives under pressure. He wants the ball in the biggest moments. He's the kind of competitor who doesn't shy away from high-leverage situations, but instead embraces them, welcomes them, lives for them. But beyond his on-field performance, Díaz has become known for something else. His absolutely iconic entrance to the tune of Narco by Timmy Trumpet. This isn't just a song choice. This is a cultural phenomenon. When that trumpet intro starts blaring through the stadium speakers, when that infectious beat drops, the entire crowd goes absolutely nuts. It's become one of the most recognizable entrance songs in all of sports, right up there with Mariano Rivera's Enter Sandman, in terms of creating an atmosphere and announcing that something special is about to happen. The Narco entrance became particularly famous during Díaz's time with the New York Mets, where Timmy Trumpet even showed up to Citi Field to perform the song live as Díaz entered games. Those moments became viral sensations, replayed millions of times on social media, talked about on every sports show in the country. It was baseball entertainment at its finest, a perfect blend of athletic excellence and showmanship that captivated fans even beyond the typical baseball audience. And now that's coming to Los Angeles, a city that knows a thing or two about entertainment and putting on a show. The fit couldn't be more perfect. Dodger Stadium is one of the most iconic venues in baseball, with a fan base that's passionate, knowledgeable, and hungry for success. Adding Edwin Díaz to the mix, with all the electricity and energy he brings, is like pouring gasoline on a fire that was already burning hot. The atmosphere during close games at Dodger Stadium was already intense. Now imagine it with Narco blasting and Díaz strutting in from the bullpen with that confident swagger. Opponents don't stand a chance. The Dodgers have shown throughout their recent history that they're willing to do whatever it takes to build a championship roster. They've made blockbuster trades. They've signed megastars in free agency. They've developed homegrown talent through their farm system. But this Edwin Díaz signing might be the boldest move yet because it represents a recognition that championship teams need every piece in place, from the top of the rotation down to the final out of the ninth inning. You can't have weak links. You can't have question marks in crucial roles, and the closer position is about as crucial as it gets. Diaz's arrival not only strengthens the team on the field, but also injects a massive dose of enthusiasm and confidence into the fan base. Dodgers fans have been through the emotional roller coaster of playoff disappointments and thrilling victories. They know what it takes to win, and they know that building a championship roster requires bold moves and sometimes breaking the bank for the right player. This is one of those moments. This is the front office telling the fans, "We hear you, we understand what we need, and we're going all in to get it done." The future looks incredibly promising with Edwin Díaz anchoring the back end of the Dodgers bullpen. When you combine his elite skills with the existing talent on the roster, when you factor in the motivation of a team that knows it came up short and is determined to make things right, when you add in the home field advantage of Dodger Stadium rocking with 50,000 fans going crazy every time Narco plays, you've got all the ingredients for something special. The rest of the National League should be worried. The Dodgers were already a dangerous team. Now they've addressed their biggest weakness by bringing in arguably the best closer in baseball. That's the kind of move that shifts the balance of power, that makes opponents rethink their strategies, that turns a good team into a great one. And based on Andrew Friedman's hotel room celebration and noise complaint incident, it's clear that everyone within the Dodgers organization understands the magnitude of what they've just accomplished. This is what baseball's offseason is all about. The big moves, the record-breaking contracts, the moments of pure joy when everything comes together and you land the player you've been targeting. Andrew Friedman blasting Narco at full volume in his Orlando hotel room, consequences be damned, is the perfect encapsulation of what this signing means to the Dodgers. It's not just a business transaction. It's not just adding another name to the roster. It's bringing in a game changer, a difference maker, a player who will define crucial moments throughout the 2025 season and beyond. So as we count down the days until opening day on March 26th, as we anticipate that first time Narco blares through Dodger Stadium speakers and Edwin Díaz emerges from the bullpen in Dodger blue, the excitement continues to build. Fans are ready. The team is ready. And if that hotel noise complaint in Orlando is any indication, Andrew Friedman and the entire front office are more than ready. They're fired up, they're confident, and they're ready to watch Edwin Díaz do what he does best: dominate hitters, close out games, and create unforgettable moments that will echo through Dodger Stadium all season long. The Dodgers have made their move. They've broken the bank for the closer they needed. They've added the final piece to their championship puzzle, and they've done it with the kind of enthusiasm and excitement that creates legendary moments, both on the field and apparently in hotel rooms during winter meetings. This is going to be one hell of a season, folks. Edwin Díaz is a Dodger. Narco is coming to Los Angeles. And the rest of baseball better be ready because the Dodgers aren't just competing anymore. They're going for it all, and they've got the closer who can shut the door when it matters most.